Taylor Lane or something.
Is that what, okay.
Is that?
Chestnut Acres, Washington, they have a bigger
Huh.
point on the, Chestnut, is that why they're worse?
Now, my dogs will get them and eat them.
Yeah, that won't hurt your ducks.
No,
It's
my
5
dogs.
o'clock.
No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, they'll get them and chew them and just, like it's a peanut or something, dumplings.
You can fat the hard.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order, at 5 o'clock. Thanks everyone for being here. Sheila, you wanna open us with prayer?
Sure, let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful day that we've had, Lord, and for the opportunity to come here together this evening. We ask that the decisions that are made are your will and we do your work, Lord. We ask for your guidance and your wisdom and discernment. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and golly gee, guess we need to do it introductions. I could call you the wrong name.
Josh C., I'll just go ahead and jump.
Sarah Earl.
Roy Harper.
Janet Rose.
Sean Collars. Sheena Van Meter.
Melvin Shook.
Dixie Dean.
Doug Hunt.
Jennifer Strawman.
Lee Savage.
Okay. All right, Josh, you're up again, buddy.
Perfect. I've got notes all over this. So I was kind of giving you a breakdown of what we've gone over the last month. At East Hardy, we did get ER excavating to come in, replace that water line from the meter down to the building. We went in ourselves, we fixed the spot. As soon as we fixed it, that next week we went in, we found another place that the line had busted on up the line. That line is not your typical black pipe water line. It's the 2-inch that you slide together. It was all, I've never seen it myself either. But we think that, as the pressure changed, it was leaking throughout. So we just went ahead, bypassed everything. We got that completed last week. MHS, last month, did you guys know about the meat lab and the sewer line? Did
I
we
told
tell you
you.
about that? Okay, so
That
the
was
sewer line had
nasty.
ended, yes. So we did install a tank. There's a tank at the end of it. So at this point, Mr. Dent just goes and he checks it. What we have now, our next step to that is just right up the street, 50 yards up the street, right at the turn of Monroe and Elm there at the corner. There's a manhole there that's actually higher than where the pipe comes out. We're going to put a chopper in the bottom of the tank, install a pump, and we're going to pump it up the street to that manhole so we can eliminate Jamie out of that and any ag teachers in the future having to go to that point. But that's our best fix for that as of this point. The elementary school, when we were going over and we were snaking it twice a week, we did go. We ran a piece of equipment. We went through that line. We got it cleaned out. We have not gotten a phone call since we ran that through that line and cleaned that line back up. I've had lots of different work orders on bees and bugs and just roaches and everything else. We use a company called Ehrlich. There's some local technicians that I've texted in the past that have shown up fairly quickly. I still text them. I've called the executive office or the corporate office that's down in Georgia, I believe in Atlanta. I'm not getting much even when I put the order in down there, but I'm going to check into, Barbie told me that I can write a letter, do away with that and try to find somebody else that will give us a little bit more attention because we're not getting the attention that I think we need from Ehrlich at this point.
I personally talked to those guys when they were here
Right.
the
and
last
said
time they tell
knew
you.
nothing about it. Right?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, and down there they told me, but I text them all the time. And I'm not even getting text back from them anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm gonna try with somebody else. The SBA. So we put in for our next working with ESG on this. We're going to put in for the flooring over at the Pilgrims building and the elevator at East Hardy Elementary School. Last week, Joyce Van Gilder was here. We walked through. She thought it was 2 great projects. We checked out. She took some pictures. On a side note from that, the SBA director, Andy Neptune, is scheduled to be here on October 15th to see those projects. And Dr. Van Meter and I will present to the SBA on November 3rd in Charleston. You got that email?
Yep, I did.
And like I said, ESG has been our project lead on that as well. Moorfield Middle School, I got some notes here on my phone. At the end of tonight, 20 of those units will have been installed, which means that 17 remains. They're averaging, I figured it up, they're averaging 1.8 per night, which is less than
Than what
what
they
we
expected,
originally
yeah.
had thought. They extended out their timeline to November. They still think that they can get done by the end of October, but that's only if everything would go perfect from that point. So 17 more still remain to go in. It says the air balancing for the RTUs has been complete. A chemical injection system is complete and functioning. What that is, that pumps chemicals into our cooling tower, and it just keeps from everything being built up on those lines. So we don't have to worry about it. It will be more efficient that way.
Are the chemicals coming back into the classroom?
No, it stays in the loop. It's in the loop.
It's,
There's a
all
water
the
loop that goes
pipes.
all the way throughout, and it's just, what it does is it keeps in control. Everything that we add to our water deteriorates metal. It always adds to all the fluoride and everything that we put into it. Chlorine. It just builds up over time.
Also built up.
These chemicals eliminate that process and eliminate that buildup. And if you have that buildup, the way these cooling towers are built, you lose your efficiency on those cooling towers. So it just keeps your metal clean, so you don't have to worry about the fungus and.
It's all contained.
It's the water that just
It's
keeps
the
and
water
cools the
that goes
air.
through
It's
the
not
loop.
going to
It's
the
an enclosed
faucets or
loop.
anything. Yeah.
Well, isn't that what we found out before that we weren't
Yeah. We're
doing?
not.
And how often do they have to refresh that?
So there's 3 great big tanks up there. I haven't been trained on it yet. It's a great big computer screen. The guy told me the other day it's complete overkill. I'm going to have him go and look at the East Hardy one because right now there's nothing at East Hardy as well. I mean, it can be as simple as grabbing an onion sack and filling it with bromine tablets and tossing it in the bottom of the tank. It can be that simple.
Sure.
So I'm going to talk to him
Well, that's
about
a
that
good
process over there and if we can do something like that on a lesser scale. But for 2 years, Belt and Lap are over this, on the facility side of things. So at the end of that 2 years, maybe we look at a cheaper way of going about it. But right now you have an entire chemical setup. It's pretty overwhelming when you look at it.
Yeah.
But it is in. The roof is 100% and will be inspected soon for its warranty. The ceiling tile is being replaced. You've seen the ceiling. They look really, really good. They're being replaced as they go through it. And the washer and dryer was replaced by Belt. All they did was move it out of the way. I don't think they did anything to break it. But since they moved it, they put their hands on it. Adam Stern from Belt did replace that washer dryer combo for the kitchen for us.
That was nice.
So to that point, this point, that's what we have. We're a little over halfway on that, and hopefully it'll start smoothing out a little bit. We did start with, we're trying to get some bids for snow removal. At this point, I have not gotten anything back. Nobody is showing any kind of interest at all. I did ask Dr. Van Meter today to share on social media. I looked in the Moorfield paper. It's a small little thing up in the corner of the advertisement section, and I missed it the other night. I had to go back and look at it today. So it is in there. So hopefully with the social media, we can get some more people and get some interest in it. She also asked me to talk about Bus 65. Bus 65 is our VOTEC bus. It's an East Hardy bus. It runs several times a day, back and forth from Petersburg to, I'm just getting back into my notes here, several times a day to Petersburg. And it's got 106,000 miles on it at this point. I just like having high mileage buses around, just close by in case they do go down. But Andy sent back that they put injectors and had to replace a water line to the after treatment system. So whatever those are on that bus, that was on it and what the costs were there. And then bus 55 was our backup handicap bus that is now in place that we have to run every single day because we do have 2 students in chairs. And they've rebuilt the motor. It is a 2013 model. It is what motor is that? It's not the good motor. It's on that International, the one that's like a pickup motor. 53 and 55. The 53 and 55 were the same, but it's got 81,000 miles on it, and they just rebuilt the motor. So that was the two high buses that we
It's
had.
55 and International or Bluebird.
55 it's an International. It's got the same motor in it that 53 has.
And that's the one that gets worked on all the time.
It is, but we have to have it. We don't have a spare handicap bus. 55 was our spare handicap bus. So Mike Van Meter and Brent Nelson at Grant County have been gracious enough that if we need it, we can use one of theirs.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, was one of the 4 buses that we ordered, was one of them by chance?
We have not ordered any buses to this point.
Oh, I thought we were getting 4 new ones.
We're waiting to get the quotes from,
International.
And
Mhm.
Bluebird.
Okay.
We had one, but we were
And I
getting
did
the
not
other.
quote a handicap bus in those quotes. I can get those guys.
I mean, it
doesn't take
sounds
them
like
any
we
time at
might
all.
need one.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
It's
since
been a
we've
long-
had 2 handicapped
Right.
students.
Yeah. And the one is a high school student, the other one's, I think, first grade now.
So what grade, what in high school, the other student, what grade?
First grade.
No, the high school student.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're,
I'm not sure.
Then-
So,
12th grade, we might sneak by.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
not
find
sure
out
what he
more
is
about
either.
that.
I know the student, but I'm not sure what grade he's.
I don't know either. It's Foster.
Mm-hmm, yep. Foster student, foster kid.
That's all I had note-wise. Any questions?
Yeah, I went to Stockyards the other day and I got hit up 3 times about the lights at the middle school when you come out and can't see.
Oh, yes. So the 3 out front, I've been hit up that as well.
Yeah, they-
It's been like 5 years. I've had Louis on it.
Mhm.
I've got the guys going back up there again. So we're starting at the light and we're working our way back to the building from junction box to junction box to junction box. And we're pulling those wires out and flipping it back on, and every time it's tripping us out. And we don't know where there's a break in the wire yet.
Okay, is there any way you can put up like some kind of temporary lighting, because they say it's really bad. I mean, did you could wire, put up like a spotlight or, you know?
I wonder if we
You
can get like a
those lights
solar.
come on when you walk past
I
them.
can look into it. I don't know what's available.
They say it's really, really bad.
It is. It's dark. My
Someone's
daughter's
gonna
on it too. I agree. It
Someone's
is
gonna
dark.
get hurt and probably end up suing us. That's what I'm worried about. And like I said, I had, that's the
What are
first time
those
I did
ones
this.
that's Bill and Hal,
I had
they're
3 people.
$39.95.
Yeah.
with free shipping.
It's
Yeah, something
For
like
the-
that.
with the buses picking
They
up.
run like
I
a
mean-
temporary building.
Couldn't hurt, right?
Temporary
They just keep blowing.
conduit,
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark.
because they say
You gotta get it,
Yeah.
generator,
You can
Well,
just do it during ball games.
yeah,
5 years.
fire it up and then.
And you said it's been 5 years?
No, I
Or
don't
that
know.
will come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
and
there's-
that's fair, all the games.
Yeah, Kevin, you're using
volleyball, yeah, volleyball.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
and
that basketball, you get much worse when you have boys.
it's.
You really might be able to get some solar to mount out there that'll, I mean, I have
In fact,
different outside of my house. They're pretty bright
flashlights are-
typically, as long as it's not rained
We
for
made
3
it,
weeks.
we made it, they put it up, yeah, we worked on it last week, and we worked on it.
Could you
today.
put, like, I said, some kind of,
I can get a rental, we were just talking, I can get one of those rental generators.
I think would be. to our
Check,
advantage.
check the price too on those exterior solar ones that you can set out, because
Yeah.
I'm serious, they really aren't too bad and they're not expensive.
No, when you walk by.
But you can
them,
mount,
yeah.
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 They're
Bill
just,
and Hal on the TV, and honest to goodness, $39.95, the thing, you can see it says for miles. That doesn't make it so, but, they're
Yeah,
saying about
something.
4
Pick a price
miles
on
or
it.
something.
It's been
Couldn't
down for a
hurt.
couple of years, and I had Louis out there, we couldn't figure it out, I mean, we pulled and did, and it just keeps going, so I said, let's break it, I don't know anything about it, I'm just thinking that what can we do, so we started at the light, and we're working our way back to the building, there's gotta be a break in the wire somewhere, so when you go into one junction box, it's one color, and as it goes out the other side, it's a different color, so somebody's been in there before tinkering, but we can't find where the break
Yeah,
is.
maybe look into what Dr. Van Mead, something temporary.
I'll find something.
Not real expensive.
I'll call Mark up there. Okay.
Hey, your bus stop arm violation, that's all you've had, sir. Well, how are you handling those now? Who you turn them into or what?
If it's in the municipality, we send it to Mel
Okay,
Burrows, and then if it's in the county, she sends it to a deputy. I'm not sure which deputy.
Yeah, it's copied. If you look in the emails that I forward you, she's actually sending that email to the officer she's supposed to send it to, and then copying me on it, and then I'm forwarding. So if you look on those, it should be down below.
And
And I
I
can't
think
remember who it
it's
is.
one deputy on that side and another deputy on this side. I'm not sure who it is now.
Okay. What's the follow-up on that? Do you follow up, to see if
Are they
anything's been
charging
done?
them?
I don't follow
Giving
up.
them a ticket?
I don't follow up. I can ask them.
Maybe get a report.
We need a
I can
follow-up.
ask them about
We
it.
need
I
to
thought they were
see
going
that.
to come monthly and talk to us about that. It is, right?
The pro officers give us the pro report. Actually, I just told them today I haven't gotten their September, October one. No, August, September. Yeah, because it just started October. But I'll make sure that they include that in there. But the pro officers aren't the ones that are handling it. So I don't know that would,
It's
I think that's what we had
it's a
talked
road
about, but it's,
deputy.
yeah.
a road deputy and then, of course, no roads in town.
It'd just be good to know if they're following through with it after you send it to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're
Well,
not, it's kind of a waste of time.
If
but-
they're getting a ticket,
I agree.
Yeah, is there a
100%.
quick
It
way to
takes so
find
much
out?
time To do that.
Is there a
It really
report
does.
that they do down there that we could just ask for already, that who was charged with?
So if we know the name of the person.
Yes,
then
okay.
The magistrate court records are somewhat public at this point. You can
Okay.
see the status of the case, if it's still pending, if it's concluded. You don't get to
Okay.
see any of the documents themselves as to if there's any sort of plea or any of like the report
Okay.
that any officer generated or deputy
But you can
generated.
see if they were.
But you can see like.
That is if you know their name.
Or
If you know the name.
yeah.
But all
Yeah,
we're
and I
having
guess
is
we
license.
don't.
License
Yeah.
number.
We have the license number, but that would be on law
Yeah.
enforcement to take the license number. and
Right.
Look it up and
establish
charge
who the
them.
person is. Really, if it would be ideal if they could give us, if we say the incident involving the passing of a bus on Trap Run, for example.
Right.
They can give us a status update of that, but from our end, if we get a name, I'm able to find that through
Right.
a lot of public.
We don't get a name, we just have a license plate number.
Yeah, so we'll have to go through them to get it. Mhm.
but we need to make sure that something's done, because if they just say, now, don't you do that anymore,
Mhm.
then, it needs to cost some money. I'm sorry, but people understand stuff like that.
Sure,
Yeah.
you know.
sure, yeah, I'll just have
Me
it requested
included.
with everyone
I've
she
gotten a
sends
couple
to
speeding
do a
tickets.
follow-up with us from each one. I think they can do that.
They should be able to,
What
yeah.
happens. I mean, once it leaves their hands, it's out of their hands again, so I don't know what the magistrate, I guess it
Yeah.
goes down to the magistrate's office.
Well, if you find out they've been ticketed, that's half the battle there.
Right,
You
yeah,
know.
it just to know that they got.
That they
tickets.
charged,
yeah.
What about the follow-up on our driver who didn't have the flashes on and the stop sign out?
So we went out, the only thing that could have been was he didn't have his master switch on. When he crossed the train tracks, he turns his master switch off. Because if you come up to it and you open up your door and the master switch is on, the reds come on, so they turn the master switches off. They get complacent. I'm not making excuses for him, but they
Yeah, but
do.
don't the flashes go off inside the bus
No,
too?
there's no flashers inside the bus. No. You can look in your
Yeah, to me, that's a
mirrors,
pretty
you can look in your
serious-
mirrors and see it. I agree, 100%. I'm not trying
You
to,
know, here we can't be, hound dogging drivers when our drivers aren't in compliance.
right. And you're right. And we've had Dr. Van Meter talk to him, I talked to him, he had no idea it was even
Yeah.
happening. The only way you can do it, I took her out, I put her in that bus, I sat her in the chair, I showed her how everything worked. I said, can you tell if your reds are on right now? And she couldn't tell until I showed her where she could look, and she had to lean up and see the mirrors. She was sitting pretty low in the seat. With the stop arm, you can see just the very end of it come out. And you do, we all get complacent in everything that we do. And I think that was just one of those days where he got complacent and he just wasn't paying attention to it. Again,
What
I'm
about
not
that
making
arm
excuses
that
for
comes
him.
out the front of the bus? Can't you see that?
That's what I was talking about,
From the
stop
driver's
arm. Yeah,
seat?
so the hood's in the way, so you can see the very end of it when it comes out, but you're not seeing the entire 10 foot as it comes out. You're just seeing the very end of it as it comes across.
They should be able to see the end where the students walk by, because that's where they should stop any signals.
Agreed, yeah, and we had that conversation as well, yeah.
Did you remind all the bus drivers that when they're doing that they need to make sure?
Absolutely, yeah, especially this side of the mountain. I mean, we had guys cross train tracks like a dozen times a day.
Sure.
So they just, it's on and off, and it's just as simple as a flick of a button. It's all it is. That master button is just like every other button on the bus, and it's very easily done. I was telling her about another time that I came up on one as well, and I he stopped, and I ran up to the bus, and I was like,
Yeah.
you gotta turn your master switch on. He didn't know. Because when he crossed the train tracks, he flipped it off, turned his four ways on, he just didn't turn it back on.
So there's no red light on that toggle
No.
switch, okay.
Maybe not necessarily a letter of reprimand, but maybe a letter of suggestion or something in their file or not. Would that be inappropriate? Not enough?
Just talking about discipline because of
Not
who
really discipline,
publicly, but
I mean-
I'm just saying like in the open meeting
Well,
or
it really
whatever, but
wouldn't be a discipline, it would be just, a
Yeah.
suggestion or
I met with him. I mean, I can certainly put a note in there that that there was a conference held
do
and
you
just
have
what it
proof
discussed.
that you did that? I mean, as far as,
Oh, I mean, I could have him sign it.
well, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I don't think he would deny that I talked to him. He was upset about it. I mean, he was He was regretful.
I mean, he's a good driver normally.
Yeah.
I mean, we've not had complaints.
He's
so-
been a conscious. He's been
Yeah,
a conscious.
so,
We're all human.
oh, absolutely. You know, you hate to run them
Restroom
off.
call.
You hate to run them off.
I'd asked Mrs. Van Meter about a bus that backed into a tree or something. Did you have one back into a tree?
Yeah.
Actually, it was when he pulled out, the tail swing, and he didn't stop, he kept going. Yeah. Same tree back. It's been hit, I don't know how many times, got scars all over it, but he kept going. Not his finest hour, and I wasn't mine either when I met with him.
Where was the tree?
Country Creek Road, I bet, or Country,
What's the one there past the Broken Spoke?
it's Needmore Road, but down in there's where they
There's a
turn.
turnaround back there.
Country.
Every driver has hit this tree.
Country Creek, not
The-
every
the-
driver.
The landowner gave us permission to cut it down. We don't have the means to cut it down.
Oh, was it a big tree?
It's a big tree, yeah. But what got me was when he hit the tree, he didn't stop. He kept going. So it took the back three panels and all the windows. I mean, it didn't break anything, it just dented them. But now you have structural damage, and we can't drive it with structural damage.
Yeah.
And it's one of the buses we received last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you just need to suck it up and get a tree trimmer.
get it moved.
Or $1,500 and have a good cut down.
The landowner's
Probably
from
wouldn't
New
even be that
Jersey.
much.
We had a letter from him 2 years ago, but I couldn't find anybody to cut the tree.
Or you could, paint the tree trunk white.
Doesn't matter.
There's
It
still
doesn't
back
matter.
into-
Put white
You-
paint on our
you
yellow
think with All
bus.
the scars and the yellow paint that's already on it.
It's a
that
bus
they see.
magnet,
Yes.
huh?
Our buses don't have a beep, beep, beep when you're getting close.
No, ma'am. No sense.
No sense.
That'd be handy.
We've got a beep, beep, beep when it's in reverse, but it's not doing anything but telling everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tree should have moved, huh?
Just seen it coming.
But procedures were followed. We did everything the way that we're supposed to do it. And it's being fixed. So it's not even back on the road yet. It's being fixed right now.
What's the name of that road?
Yep.
Country Creek, maybe? It's Country something.
Okay, student achievement recognition, anything there tonight?
Yes. You guys pass these around for me. Oh, better keep one. And then we'll start these going this direction so that everybody gets a copy.
Oh,
Everybody gets one. Okay. So we received the first thing is we'll look at the one pager. That lists the best of Hardy County that we do with our banners. And I got to make sure Josh takes one of these with him. You'll see at the bottom, it tells you at the top, it tells you the scores. At the end of the year, assessment and proficiency is indicated there. And then at the bottom, of course, we give those banners to the schools that had the highest proficiency. It's based upon growth throughout the year of our benchmark, but because they don't take a final benchmark, they actually take the end of year test. It's a different measurement. So the last one is based purely on proficiency. So you'll see there that Moorfield schools have it all except for 4th grade and 11th grade. I didn't mark that, did I? Sorry, the first one is ELA and the second one is math. My apologies on that. And then the second column over, then you'll see that East Hardy Elementary has it in kindergarten, 2nd, 3rd East Hardy Elementary, and then 11th is East Hardy High School, and all the Moorfield schools have it for the other grade levels. And then at the back, you'll see this one would be the science column, so that you can see there the growth. But just wanted to share that with you guys and let you know how well we were doing across the board. And the schools fight over these banners, so they're always nice to have them. And Josh and the maintenance fellows take care of that for us, and they get them moved. The second packet that you have that's dated October 3rd, it says, "Dear educator colleagues," this is from Michelle Blatt, the state superintendent of schools. And she talks about the different classifications. So once your end of year assessments are turned in, they look at a variety of things. They look at growth, they look at proficiency overall, they look in all those different areas. And then they tell you, this letter is a general letter to everybody that tells you what the different breakdowns are. So you have tier 1, which is your universal supports, tier 2, which is your targeted supports, and then tier 3, the intensive supports. And you'll see, if you look at the list of CSI schools, you don't want to be on these lists. So the list is bad. We are not on any of the lists. So that's good that we are not on the lists. So, yes, you'll see.
See in the 11th grade at 6.
Yes. But the difference is they look at overall growth.
Yeah.
So when you're comparing,
Balanced it out.
yeah, they balance out overall. So you'll see that you have the CSI schools, the ATS schools, and then you're exiting CSI schools, which were schools that were on the list that are now leaving. We've not had one on that list, so that's a really good thing. And I wanted to share that with you all. And if you look, you'll see that counties surrounding us have schools on these lists. So I'm proud of the fact that we do not.
I see that on that LEA list, that first list, that Canal City Elementary's on there.
Was that your county?
That's where I went to elementary school,
Okay.
and that's where Michelle Holstein is.
Oh yeah, doing as an art
Yeah.
teacher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think they love her there. I've heard good things. But that would be all I have to share. I'd be happy to answer any questions about these if you want to follow up and let me know. And we will have Bonnie come to a meeting soon and give, beginning of the year data and share all that with you too. So you'll know how we started out with our benchmarks and see where we stand.
Well, I have a question.
Sure.
In the end of year assessment for English language arts,
Mhm.
at the one school, they got 0%, and the other school, they got 1%.
Mhm.
So did the kids, how could you get a 0%?
I don't think that's right.
And, the next question is, how can you get a 1%? If you go down and sing with the A, with the A, with the A, B, C, or however they're numbered, make up some riddle and do it, you're going to do better than 1%.
Yeah, I'm wondering, let me look at that because I don't think that's accurate. I bet it has to do with the, they take the PSAT
Yeah.
10, what they're taking at the end of the year, or is it the horizon that they use for that? Because the high schools are a little different. Obviously, 11th grade takes the end of the year assessment, but let me pull that for
Well,
you.
The PSAT.
Yeah,
And
sure
look
they
at,
won't be.
look at the 8th
Yeah,
grade
that's right.
in that same one, 2%.
yeah,
That
East Hardy's. mhm.
something's wrong there. We've got to see what the heck is going on.
Yeah, and I apologize because I looked at the big reports that she sent me and then just looked at the winners lists on this because I had a different format. But let me double check all that and get back to you on that one, Dixie.
Okay.
I can get you a breakdown of all of those to show you exactly what it was. That'll be helpful. Let me know if you see anything else on there that you want clarification on, but I'll try to bring you the full report. The actual packet of stuff that she gives us is a huge breakdown, and I'll
Now,
try
aren't
to
they
pull that.
skewed? Don't they change those numbers? I mean, that's not really what the kids' money
I think
is.
what they say is they clean the data. I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you.
Clean and change would be equal words to me.
But yeah, that would be the state assessments. The high school ones, except for 11th grade, are not state assessments because they don't take anything except for the SAT in the 11th grade at the high school level. So everything through 8th grade would be.
So that's information from the SAT then,
Mm-hmm.
what's in the 11th.
Yes. Mhm.
So Warfield 10th grade gets a banner for 1%.
It's the most, yes. Because 1 is better than 0.
Maybe we shouldn't award that
Maybe
until
we
you
should
check
have
out
a
the
minimum.
zero.
Yeah, I think it's incorrect, but I'll find
Maybe
out
we
for you
should
for
have a
sure.
minimum standard for sure. Wow.
Not a bad idea. No, I don't think that's right, but I'll get that for
I
you.
hope that's not right.
Yeah, I don't think that is correct. Yep, I'll find out though for sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, and look at this, the West Virginia Virtual Academy and the West Virginia
Mhm.
Virtual Preparatory Academy.
Are they on a list?
Yeah, they're
How
on the
about that?
list.
About that. It's interesting, isn't it?
Someone must have heard Paul Hardisty's thing, holding up the law book and holding
Oh,
up one sheet of
One sheet
paper
of paper.
and holding up a little 4x4,
Mm-hmm.
3x5 index card.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing like being fair and consistent.
Well, now I'm looking here. So we're on this ATS schools.
Mm-mm.
Never not.
Well, that list is right there that she has.
It's not, we're not highlighted, I don't know what that means.
Oh, over on that side. Okay. For Hispanics and children with disabilities. Yes, I'm sorry. I missed that, Dixie. I was so proud.
Yeah,
It's a separate column.
I was just scanning them. Maybe
Dang
we need
it.
to scan some of the others.
No, I looked at the other one, I didn't
You
see.
didn't see anything?
anything.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, you're right on the
Four of them.
ATS.
I didn't see anything else.
At least one student success indicator.
What would be economically disadvantaged?
I missed
How
that.
how would you,
The low socioeconomic status. So I believe if they still do it like they used to, they pull the direct cert from, is that how they still do it, Jennifer?
Yes.
They pull the direct cert from anyone that applies for public assistance. So they get that from the Department of Human Services.
So many times below
Yeah.
this is
poverty level.
in Fayette and Greenbrier.
I missed that.
Northeast.
Hey,
Northeast.
No, I looked at that thing like I'm serious. I kept looking at it, but you're right. It's in that column to the right. Okay, go on. I'm over 2. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and-
there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, but I was,
And the, it seems like on this ATS list that a lot of the English learners and children with disabilities.
it's a hard one for sure, but
Pardon me?
They're looking at the student subgroups there and how they're performing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, it just tells you, it kind of tells me that we have children with significant disabilities, learning disabilities, maybe language, whatever. 'Cause you guys tell us all the time, they're getting worse and worse.
they're getting more challenging, that's for sure. Harder and harder to meet the needs with what we currently have and what we can afford to have.
And the kids come to school now.
On the ATS list.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, they'd keep them home.
Yeah.
They
Get
didn't
'em in
come
the
to school. Mhm.
Get 'em in the closet.
Not anymore.
Okay. So I guess item C, Orrin, attendance and employment updates.
So starting with attendance, with Hope Scholarship and homeschool particularly, From 2024 to 25 school year, we only had 19 active Hope Scholarship students. That has increased to 29 active Hope Scholarship students. That's something I think is important to have a start with, is that with
We have 19.
19 in 24, 25, and so far in 25, 26, 29. And will tell you is that I'm getting calls weekly, at least, from students or families of students, guardians of students that are inquiring about it. It's something that I think we're going to see increased numbers, not just this year, but in the future too, as that expands and with the agenda that the legislature seems to have with that. So that's just something to be prepared for. However, getting down to something that'll be a little bit lower on the list too, that Mr. Earl and I have been talking about with the updated policy or for the student involvement for Hope Scholarship and homeschool students in any athletics or extracurricular activities. That'll be hopefully set some cost improvement, because we are allowed to charge those students for participation. Our West Virginia code allows charging those students for participation in classes, extracurriculars, athletics, and those sorts of things.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's
For their
something.
equipment and stuff.
And that's something that, as the number of Hope students likely increases, which I think is safe to say that it will continue to increase, something that will hopefully still allow some funds to be coming in to be able to facilitate.
How many of those 29 are participating in other activities, do you know?
At this point, I don't know. That's not something that I can see. That's going to be individual student specific, but I've gotten a lot of questions about it, and that was something that ultimately triggered trying to, with the updates to the law, and then trying to update that policy to make sure that we're in compliance and still affording opportunities even for the Hope and homeschool folks. So
as far as you are aware, there are none at this point?
that I don't know. If they are not being financially charged to participate in this, which our law allows us to charge them.
So we need
Because
to find out.
yes, and that's something is that with the policy being put in place, is then it will allow us going forward to be able to figure those figures out to make sure that we are, because we're losing out on that enrollment ultimately.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so that's from the Hope side. Homeschool numbers so far for 24-25, we've had 193 active students, and so far for 25-26, we have 196. A lot of those are carryover from the prior year, so it doesn't surprise me that those figures are close, because that doesn't normally change from year to year. However, the Hope is where, as folks learn more about it and some of the things that it allows and permits, that I think we'll see a lot of homeschool children transitioning to that, and maybe even some public school kids. So that's from the Hope and homeschool side of things. So far had a great, I thought that it went very well, meeting with all the assistant principals prior to school starting to talk about attendance and really my philosophy on handling truancy cases, really trying to develop a team effort on approaching these, and I'm monitoring it. Been talking to several of the assistant principals already, looking at the numbers that we have too. So far, there are about 10 students that have reached that 10 unexcused threshold. However, 3 of those 10 have circumstances that are such that it wouldn't necessarily be best interest to pursue a truancy. By way of example, there's a student that was truant to start the year, but then was got a case in our local court system, and then was put in placement. Like, that's not something, that's the circuit court that is able to address those issues once that child would return, or if there was a change of placement or those sorts of things. Or so just a couple of examples of looking at it and looking at the underlying cause, and if there has been improvement or not. So a few of those have been situations that are justifiable, for lack of a better word, but I'm working with the system principals on that for the others to make sure that they're nipping the bud early and trying to to make sure is that we're promoting attendance, but also handling the cases that need to be handled. So, I will say just because I think that it's noteworthy for shout out to MIS, they didn't have any students on the list of those 10 unexcused. So they were the only school so far that hadn't reached that threshold with any of their students. So I think they deserve some recognition for that.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is the worst school that we're attending?
So far, East Hardy High School has 5 of the 10. So, but Ms. Baker is one that I've been working with there, and we have approaches ready that we're getting in place for some of those. So,
For people in town to get to high school, we've had attendance problems.
Yeah.
And
Well established, huh?
upper level at that too. So, but then, particularly at the high school level, and these are conversations that I've had with Ms. Baker and all the principals for that matter, or assistant principals rather, is the determination of if we're talking about a student issue or we're talking about a parent issue. And generally, as the grades, as you get into high school, it can develop into more of a student-related issue. So, charging a parent with truancy in magistrate court with the maximum fine being $100 may not necessarily curb that behavior. So trying to find what route in that particular circumstance is going to be best to change the behavior, because ultimately that's what we're looking
Well,
to
lots of times the parents try, but like I said, as it gets older,
do. Right.
and more independent, they kind of make their own
Right.
decisions.
And if they're driving or, whatever it may be. So trying to not necessarily have cookie cutter ways of approaching it, but looking case by
Look at
case
each
to see
individual.
and
Put
being
sugar
creative
in
for that
dad's wine.
specific circumstance. So,
I'd be a mean mom.
that's all I have from the attendance side of things. From the
Public
HR and
comment.
personnel side of things, you all previously asked about long-term subs that we had in place. So we have 8 long-term subs that are currently holding positions in special ed, science, counselor, gifted, and art. I will say is the troops to teachers that has just come through our most recent legislative session has been beneficial. We've already had a few applicants for various positions that are either in the process of taking praxis to get fully licensed in this position, or are inquiring as to what they need to do to ultimately get into this. So we have an avenue that has been beneficial to us for good quality certified candidates to get into these positions so that they're not the long-term subs. Don't get me wrong, the folks that we have in the long-term sub positions are qualified and very good folks, but getting those fully certified teachers in there, would be the ideal. So working with them too, and working with the long-term subs as to, a lot of them have, prospective paths forward to try to get full certifications, and working with them on that too.
That's good news.
Thank you.
So we have regular classroom teachers and all, but 8 classrooms.
And really it's 8 long-term subs, but in those specific areas.
And some of
But,
those are working towards certification
Yes.
too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Working towards certification. The
But not
gifted
enough for
is one
permit.
that we have a long-term sub in, but that's a half-time position as well. That's not a full-time position. However, we are filling it with the long-term subs. I felt it pertinent to include that.
Because that was,
Keith.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty good, honestly. I feel like that's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Berkeley County has hundreds. I mean, I can't imagine. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and, even when a person is in a long-term sub position, we continue to post that full-time position too.
Right.
So.
Right, so if anyone comes along,
Certified.
Mhm.
then they can do regular sub work. So, this student, okay, it's on down, I'm sorry. Any public comments? Okay. Consent items, the only one we have are board minutes from our September 22nd meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the board minutes of September 22nd, 2025, attachment 1. All those in favor? Opposed? And it's approved by vote. Okay, unfinished business. Now we go back to Lauren. Is that yours?
The
Is
policy.
that his,
No.
that policy?
Yeah, the homeschool Hope Scholarship addition to the policy that you were,
That would have been the facilities, correct? It was the unfinished.
yeah, they're just in the wrong, they're just swapped on the
Gotcha.
agenda
Okay.
incorrectly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it should be under new, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you read it correctly. It just needs to go out for first reading. It's
Yeah.
the student activities and organizations policy.
So-
Yeah.
Need,
Motion to approve.
have a motion to approve, any second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the, approval of student activities and organizations policy JGA attachment 2
For first reading.
for first reading. Any, discussion?
I have a question where it says, in kind of reasonable fees, who determines what is reasonable?
Well, what we had, this, I guess really you all determine what's reasonable. Looking at what several different counties have had, because ultimately for the Hope Scholarship, it has to go essentially on a marketplace for Hope Scholarship students to look at. Forgive me, I'm not the best with dollar figures and numbers. I think Sarah would attest that. She's smiling over there anyway. But trying to break it down, since we have, by class, what that would come down to, and then looking and trying to mirror what other counties that have contemplated this, how they're charging extracurriculars, athletics, any of those types of activities.
Robotics.
Most of them are the flat rate, $100 rate. But ultimately, that would be something that you all would be able to.
I was just wondering, would it be so much per sport? Would have the same fee for football as you would have for golf?
That's what a lot of other counties have done, is that regardless of what the activity is, if it's athletic, if it's extracurricular, all of which are the same. Commonly, it's $100 is what I've seen in my research of looking at other counties, how they have done it. Regardless of what the extracurricular activity or athletic activity is,
Okay.
it's that flat rate to keep it consistent across the board. And then
We don't get
breaking
money
the
for athletics.
breaking
It's
the
hard to-
amount that commonly that we would receive state funding for on a student by student basis, and breaking that down, like if we have a Hope Scholarship student who wants to come in and take a class, for example, during the school day, breaking it down to where, depending on the number of classes, breaking that down, and I think it was 1/7 ultimately, what it would be, because you're just breaking that class.
1/7 per day based upon what that student amount is that we get for them.
Okay,
Yeah.
what if the student wants to be football and basketball and baseball? Would it be $100 or $300?
I think that's something you all can decide on.
We'll have to do a fees list. Once the policy's approved, we'll have to, as a board, we'll present you guys a fee list to look at, and that'll have the breakdown on it. I don't think you want to put that in the policy because that might change per student based upon how many classes versus how many periods in the day. You know, it could get messy. So yeah, so I think we can do a fee listing that we can use as a supplement to that.
Well,
Something to be thinking about.
And the magic is in that very last sentence. If fees are to be paid by a student who cannot afford those fees, school officials shall develop options that shall allow the student to participate.
I think the thing that you guys need to remember about athletics is
We don't get
our
money for
funding doesn't really go to athletics. It's usually the kids do fundraise themselves on the teams. It's the gate receipts that come in. So not saying that there shouldn't be some amount there, but not to go, not go thinking that you have to pay for a helmet, you have to pay for pads, you have to pay, like, don't start. I wouldn't go that direction of trying to add up costs.
You're right.
No, right, per sport, just a fee for each.
How much would it cost, Josh, to, what, $500-$700 a player in football? Too much? Be a good bit that wouldn't it?
It would, once you do uniforms, pads, helmets, you're looking $600-$700 a kid.
But it might be a good way to get a kid back into school. I mean, if they're
sure.
playing 3 sports, I can't
imagine.
imagine them, if they're playing 3 sports, I can't imagine them not coming to school. I mean,
Usually
that,
kids that participate in sports have, you talk about attendance,
yeah, they're gonna come to school, they're not
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
we're
this
talking
other
about
stuff.
scholarship, I hope scholarship.
Oh, I know, but if they wanna do their own schooling, I mean, it seems that a lot of it is based on contamination by other kids. And if they're in sports, boy, they're really gonna hear it. So,
Well,
My
some of your
opinion
homeschool
only.
play sports also already.
You do.
So you do have students doing that already.
Right.
We also assume responsibility when we're transporting those kids and things like that. So I think this
Sure.
fee would just cover kind of that end of it too. Like homeschool kids can't be in Weavis to print out an emergency whatever form. So there are pieces that we can then, we need to make sure we're taking care of on that end too. So if you're a bus driver and you're taking a kid and 3 of them are homeschool
Yeah.
kids and you have an accident, we can't pull you up in Weavis and figure out who's your emergency contact, there's going to be a whole other set of responsibility that comes with that. So I think adding this nominal fee was going to be a reasonable thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting to see the numbers.
Yeah, there are a handful that play
Yeah,
sports. I
didn't
don't think
realize
it's,
that any homeschool. I should have known that some of the.
we have one that
homeschool
comes just for
young-
band at East Hardy, I know. Football, maybe, starting at football. We have a few.
It'd just be interesting to
Yeah,
know.
we had. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're enrolled currently, but yeah. Yep, they make friends
And how,
and join us.
and our virtual students, I'm sure we have some of them.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're considered a student.
Right, they're
So-
100% ours.
But it'd be interesting to know what the 3 breakouts would be.
Okay, let's see if we can get all that.
Janet, did that answer you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so any further discussion on this policy? All those in favor, opposed, and it's approved 5-0. Okay, board members, superintendent discussion. No action may be taken.
Get one more policy.
Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, you all.
Number 9 there. Sorry.
Yeah, for the school
School
use thing.
facilities.
I was trying to mark on the right policy and missed the thing.
And this one would actually be for approval, not for
Right,
first
right.
reading. Yeah,
So, we have a motion and a second for approval of the use of school facilities policy KBE.
second,
Have a motion and a second
I have a question.
for approval and question discussion.
When it says playground area, what actually does that cover? Is that just a fenced-in area, the area behind the fenced-in area, the ball field behind the school?
any area field-wise, I guess, that's accessible that would be behind East Hardy Elementary would be any open fielded area behind East Hardy Elementary would be my thoughts.
It is or isn't the softball field behind the school?
No, at East Hardy, or the one down at East Hardy Elementary that East Hardy High School uses.
And is used by all the little leagues and all that?
I think those are already covered under, well, let's look. Let me look at, I want to look at what
Was
East
that
Hardy
Little
High
League
School
and
says.
Soccer, didn't they all use that?
I thought
They use, Little League uses the,
East Hardy High School gym, the elementary school gym, high school auditorium. They don't have anything that specifies here East Hardy High School field, do they?
yeah. And I wasn't sure if that was included in the elementary building because it's used by the elementary and they use the building when they're using the field.
You're right. Well, I would think that would cover it because it is part of East Hardy Elementary School's property. So I would think that we would be covered to do it that way.
I just think we need to make sure that,
That's clear for the schools to know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Well,
Oh yeah, athletic field is there.
Athletic field.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I
So
was
that
looking up
is
here.
the-
Thank you, Sean.
the-
Yeah, Moorfield High, East Hardy High, and MMS athletic field. And those are East Hardy High's athletic fields, so that would cover it on that end.
That's
It would-
considered.
yeah.
East Hardy High.
Because it's their softball field.
Okay.
Well, what concerned me on both of those comments is that they act like that it's not actually a group, just random kids that are on the thing, and they're saying, oh, we have to have CPR certified people there monitoring.
Yeah,
children
so
and-
when you have new legislation this year, if you remember one of those bills, it requires you, if you have a youth organization that's utilizing your facilities, you have to require them to present that somebody present has their CPR. So I think what they were having is at the playground area outside of East Hardy Elementary down by the kindergarten wing, they actually have the youth football that uses that to practice. That's where they practice. And so they weren't able to charge them for that. More importantly, I think they were worried less about charging them, more importantly of liability, to get a liability insurance. If a kid runs and breaks their leg, football practice, we weren't being covered because we weren't requiring those forms and that insurance to be provided. And in turn, they then will have to have somebody with CPR
Well,
certification.
And I know that they're requiring that AEDs be at all athletic
Yes.
things, and so you don't have an AED there.
Yes, so they're,
Now,
yeah, they do now.
saw it on the wall.
They were putting one down on the end, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know they did, but at these random places,
Oh,
like in the
They-
playground.
They have one now down on the end by the playground. They were putting it down there. Actually, we sent David Pratt over to take care of that for them because Emily requested that there be one put down there on that side.
Okay.
that they
good,
could get to
good,
from the
because,
exterior.
You might know CPR and all that stuff. but,
Right. Yep.
The AED's the magic.
Yes, they do have that now. They took care of that piece. Good questions.
Okay, so any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. So 5-0, it's approved. Okay, now we're down to board member superintendent discussion.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to present to you tonight the most recent update from ESG, which is our energy savings group, Audra Blackwell that you had met. And I think she's going to be listening tonight. So if we have questions, we're prepared to text her and follow up. But I really want to know from you guys tonight which way you want to go. So I'm going to give you a copy of the PowerPoint, if you'll pass that out, and also give you a copy of this little handout that gives 3 separate scenarios. And then I'll roll through this PowerPoint and we can kind of discuss which direction you guys want to go. And that's why Sarah and Josh are also sticking, so they can
Listening.
help the financial breakdown of such things. All right. Just as an overview. Oh, thank you. See, helpful already. Innovative design, build, construction approach. So they look at all the ways that they can save you energy wise. It's turnkey, meaning they come in, they do it all. When they leave, everything's finished. We don't have to find somebody else to come in and pour the concrete or somebody else to come in and finish the piece. They do everything in-house. I'm trying to look for anything else that you guys just need to be reminded of. This was interesting to me when we talked about it again today, the accelerated construction timelines. It's a 12-month process. So if we go with them, whichever project pieces we pick, they're telling you they're going to come in and they're doing it all turnkey in 12 months. So they handle the bidding process, they handle all of those things. And once we sign and secure the financial funding on our end, their piece is 12 months in and out. They guarantee you no change orders. So there's nothing that they're going to add to or take away from. No upfront costs, and then of course they help us identify how we're going to fund it. You've seen this before. That's a breakdown. I'm trying to. Here is the process that we're in right now. The 90% meeting, which is the final meeting that we have with them, is Thursday. These were some of the solar pieces. Now, the 3 different scenarios that you have on paper, those 3 scenarios, 1 and 2 include solar. 3 does not. So we'll talk about those here in just a second. but they wanted you to know that they've done over 240 million or billion in solar. They have a lot of solar experience. You've seen these things. This one in particular, when you see the option for Moorfield Middle School to have the covered walkways on both sides where the car rider lives, this is what that would look like. That's almost an exact replica of what that would look like with the solar on top.
She says Thursday's the 100%.
100%, okay. So the Hardee County Board of Education project is here. They're looking at the following things. Our highest need, of course, is Moorfield Elementary School's HVAC. We have to go ahead, we are in desperate need of a special education room at Moorfield Elementary School. That unit is out. We've tried to hold off as long as we possibly could to roll it into this project. We're gonna have to spend $33,000 right now to go ahead and replace that unit because those individual units are obsolete. There's no fixing them anymore. That's gonna cost us out of pocket. So to give you an idea, that's what each one costs, and we need to go ahead and get that replaced or they're gonna start just dropping like flies on us. They're way, at this point, they will well extended their life at Moorfield Elementary School for those units. So that's our number one, all new rooftop units. East Hardee Elementary School, we need that emergency generator. That's a big one that'll save us money. That'll back up the walk-in freezer, cooler and freezer. And then if you're interested, which is kind of what got this project started rolling when we started looking around for us, is that some of you were interested in solar that you had seen in other places. The solar, you have the tax credits. We have to get things rolling before the end of this year in order to get those big tax credits because they're going away. I think the big beautiful bill wiped the majority of those out. So I don't know if you can see on this or not, maybe it's better on your page, but these are the trees. This is East Hardee Elementary. This is East Hardee High School. This is the option that you'll see in your paper. It's part of option 2, I think, that lists a solar field at the East Hardee campus. And that's right here. Moorfield Elementary School.
What,
There's a better picture.
That's a better
There's a
picture.
what exactly is that field right now?
It's that hillside.
Just a hillside,
Side of
It's a
the hill.
hillside,
unusable.
unusable.
Yeah, they don't
In
practice.
between the two schools.
Yeah, there's
I
nothing.
just have a real problem with putting solar panels where you can
Could
use.
use it for something.
It's a steep hillside.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, there's nothing there currently. The other piece is this would be your Moorfield Middle School, and it shows you where each side would be the walkways. So this would be to the car rider side of things. This would be the bus rider side. Currently, there are no walkway coverings at all. So those would be part of, and we have the breakdown as to what would cost just to build a walkway, a covering with no solar, and what it would cost to put the solar on it. We'll give you that in a second. This, they added in because the blue roofing that's at Moorfield Intermediate School is apparently the perfect type of roofing to put solar on because it's that white metal. They can just clip it on there with very little impact to the structure itself. So if you see, this is Moorfield Intermediate School. Here's that long walkway that they have over here by their bus loop. This is already there. The walkway's already there. They would just be installing solar on top of that. And then this is the best facing side of the roof.
The
to
south
put-
facing side.
Yeah, the south side here to put that on, which is why you only see it on one versus the other. And this one, which out of all is my main concern, this is the walkway from Moorfield Elementary School over to the new auxiliary gym. So we talked about, this is the entrance that's already there, and then this is an entrance that's already there at the end of the building. That would be a covered walkway with solar on top of that.
6 foot wide concrete side.
Yes, and 6 foot wide. The other ones where you would be building the walkways with the solar on top already have the concrete walkways built. This one would not. So the cost that they're quoting us on this includes that 6 foot wide concrete sidewalk. So it's included in that. These are the tax credits, bottom line costs that you can see, the energy savings. Help me with the ECMs. I asked you to put those. You see those anywhere? ECM, energy,
Cost measures?
maybe. The ITC is the
That's the tax.
something tax credit, the neutral tax credit that you're gonna get, and your total savings and your bottom line cost. So you'll see there that once you get your tax credits back, essentially, you're down to $1,092,527 paid out of pocket for all the solar that is in place with all of the, on all, including, I guess, your places that you're putting in when you're building your walkways.
That doesn't include future safety.
Energy
Doesn't
Not
include
past
future
the
savings
15,
past
not past the 15 years.
So you're saving
But the ones that I
30%.
would, sorry.
No,
Coming over
no.
here.
someone-
The ones that I would look at, well,
Three
keep in
and
mind,
bottom
like
line.
North Elementary School, bottom line cost $291,000. They told us today to build that canopy with no solar on it, was it the 360 or the 340?
361, I think, for that one.
361. So
You don't need to take a look.
that's one that you would actually, if you guys want to build the canopy between the elementary school and that building anyway, approximately, it's gonna cost $360,000. If you did it through them, put solar on top of it, it's gonna cost you $291.
And then
So
you'll get
that's-
solar savings, yes.
Yeah. Now, some of the others to me is a little, depending on what your continued savings can be after that 15-year mark, maybe they are still worth it.
Big investment though.
I'm not savvy enough in solar to
To know
To
long
know
term.
that.
I know that at East Hardy
Right.
Elementary School, that was one of the ones that you were getting the most bang for your buck with the solar, because they're locked in at the highest rate. And if you remember, we've heard that a few
Yeah,
times.
it's grandfathered.
Yeah, so their rate is a very high rate, so that's where you are gonna see the biggest savings based on the solar energy that you were getting.
Yeah, that other company said that that was the only one that was worth doing it, because otherwise the rates at the other places were too high.
Yeah, and when we talked to the other company, they were just looking at putting them on rooftops. The only thing that interested me was, like I said, especially with Moorfield Elementary School, if you're gonna build that walkway anyhow, and they can do it and put the solar on it for basically the same price, then I feel like
Yeah,
you're gonna continue to save money with that solar there,
sure.
you know. So they're willing to work, you know, obviously, the less solar you do, the smaller the rebates are that feeds into your overall savings that you get back, but they're willing to work with us and pick and choose any of these projects or all, is however you want it.
So that walkway in elementary school, how much power will that generate to run in your building?
No, that'd be something.
Yeah, I don't know then how we'd have to ask the solar and all of that, but we can see if they can tell us how many he was talking, they talked the kilowatts, when they have gone through these things with us, but I'm not energy savvy enough to know how that equates to financial savings when they talk about how many kilowatts it'll produce.
She says the ECM is energy conservation measures.
Okay.
And we will still save after the 15-year mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, as long as.
they're still there. in operation.
Literally, I think the solar panels produce, because all the ones that are out there at Woodmore, then it produces like 8 or 10% of the electric. That's what I've heard. Now, that might be wrong.
If, the one at Moorfield Elementary though, if you're basically gonna pay the same price for
Oh, yeah,
less to put
that's
it in
a-
and you're
yeah,
saving
that's a no-brainer.
10%, that one seems like a.
But I don't think that the panels are real efficient as far as producing.
But even if it would produce enough for electricity for the kindergarten wing,
Well, the
Yeah.
MES one
that one wing,
actually saves
Money by doing it.
$60,000
Could
by
we
doing it
find
that
out
way.
more,
Yeah. Now, Moorfield
how
Middle
much it
School
would
done.
actually produce for those schools?
See if they can tell us how much,
yeah,
What
they
the
should be able to
production
tell us.
is on those. Well, I'm sure they know because they factored it into the savings, like, so let's move up to this. So scenario one is one of those yellow sheets, is all of the energy, or blue sheets, sorry, blue, yeah, blue, all of these energy savings things that they're gonna do for you at each school. And it includes for solar, it includes the Moorfield Middle, the Moorfield Elementary, and the Moorfield Intermediate School pieces. It does not, scenario one does not have East Hardy Elementary's field in it. Scenario two has everything. It has East Hardy Elementary School's field, it has the 3 Moorfield sites net solar, And then it has all of the other pieces, the building envelope, the water conservation, all of the meter resizing, the LED lighting upgrades, that has all of that in it. And then scenario 3, which again, all the stuff's written down here, doesn't include any solar at all. Now, Sarah, do you want to explain to them the financial, how that works and what you have going on?
It's amazing that just changing the size of the water meter.
So what she did here was break down different scenarios that Dr. Lanier just went over with the total cost of the project. The first two have solar in them, so these two or this row here has the investment tax credit that we would receive back if we went with either route of the solar. That would be the annual loan payment for scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3. The total,
How many years?
15. The total loan payments over the 15-year period. The M&B service cost is, how did she explain that? Is it guaranteed?
It's a flat rate guarantee. That's the charge. It's so much per year for the first 3 years is what they figured it in. So when they come in and they run everything to make sure that they're guaranteeing you those savings that they've promised you, that's their fee for doing that. You divide that by 3 is what you do to get the first 3 years. If they don't make what they're supposed, get you the savings they guarantee, that's when they write you the check to give you the difference. You don't have to do that beyond the first year, but once you stop giving them the money to manage and monitor that savings, you lose your guarantee. So you can do it 1 year and be done, or you can do it any number of years up to the 15 beyond that point. She said typically once folks have done it 3 years, which is why they use that 3-year mark, they see that they're getting the savings, because ultimately you're looking at that $548,000 payment. If you just take scenario number 2, if we went all in, you're looking at that as what we have to pay out, but they're basically telling you you're getting the savings, a chunk of that money back because of all the things you've done. They're saving you that money to pay the majority of that payment, which you can see down there at the bottom. But
So the total projected savings for each scenario, and then this row, and then that would be the bottom line cost on our behalf
So
Over the 15 years.
over 15 years.
Which one do you recommend, Dr. Davis?
well, I personally like the idea of the savings that you get from the solar, because I think you're getting the rebates, you're getting a big chunk of that back, and I think long-term you'll see the difference.
Scenario 1?
Scenario 2.
2. Will anything change without for cutting funds for solar energy from the federal level? Would they be impacted, or can they assure us that we can get that much?
Yeah, they can assure you that you're gonna get it, and I guess part of their agreement is that they're gonna assure you that you're gonna get it based upon the current rebates that are available. Those expire December 31st.
Okay.
So if
So
you
we're
don't,
good till then.
yeah, we have to approve something at the October 20th board meeting in order for them to do what they need to do to get the equipment in to get rolling.
And it's energy savings from power, gas, and water.
Okay.
Yeah, have we talked to any other counties that have implemented this?
Yeah, this is what Grant does. They just use a different company. So Grant
So
County,
have we talked to anyone that uses this company?
yes, several different people. In
So-
fact, when I called all of the references,
They list-
these were the ones that had the best references. In fact, the company that originally came and presented to you guys that we were kind of rolling with, their references were not supportive.
Are these West Virginia?
Yeah, these are the West Virginia folks.
yeah, they said
And I think
you're kind of on your own.
somebody had sent even Dixie,
Yeah, an
Bowles
attorney
Rice.
from Bowles Rice, that's a friend of mine, has worked with this company and written their contracts, worked with them a good bit, and said that they're good, they're good. It's
yeah.
Tom Haywood.
And I did ask them, one of the questions that we asked when we interviewed was, have you ever had to write a check? Like, have you ever not met and had to write the check? And they said, yeah, there have been a couple times when they'd actually had to write the county a check. The other company that we were working with said no, never. And I thought that was a red flag. Because I mean, stuff doesn't always work out, the way that it's supposed to. So that would be my preference. If I had to cut anything, it would be some of the solar projects, just because they're not absolutely 100% necessary. But I do like the idea that beyond the 15 years, those are the things that are gonna keep paying back.
What's the life of the solar panels, you know?
I believe it's 20 years. Is that what they had said
I believe,
originally?
I can ask you.
And there's warranty on,
If they
boards
would get
and-
destroyed, God forbid, like from a hurricane or tornado, which we never, windstorm, did they replace the panels?
Well, I'm assuming their
Probably
insurance
borrow
would.
brand,
yeah.
That would probably fall under our insurance.
But for
Well, like a
mechanical
bad
issues-
hailstorm or something, if they crack them.
Could happen.
I mean, maybe they don't. I'd say they're pretty hardy about not getting damaged.
They warranty them for a number of years
Josh,
based
what do
upon
they-
a couple different,
What are they
like,
made of?
manufacturer issues.
25-year warranty, 20 years on the inverter. And then your kilowatts per hour for East Hardy Elementary School, this was, I think, your question, 247,107 kilowatts per hour. MIS would be 7,740. Moorfield Middle School would be 36,969. And MES, she said she'd have to get back to me on.
When you say
And
that,
it's all based on the amount of solar
Yes.
panels you have.
Right.
Yes. That's estimated from back in September, and they can update.
Pretty impressive.
that is good.
That's pretty impressive.
Would you say it one more time?
Yeah, East Hardy Elementary School was 247,107 kilowatts per hour. MIS, smaller, 7,740 kilowatts per hour. And then Moorfield Middle, which is both of the walking canopies, is 36,969 kilowatts per hour.
Okay. I know that, when we talked to Grant County, if you remember, Brent Nelson was here, they were actually getting money back from the electric company because of theirs, so
Yeah.
it was washing
And
out.
they
Well, I
have
think
the
that's a good idea.
fields.
Yeah, they do have the field there, yeah.
It's just a big investment.
I didn't like the idea of the fields either. Same difference. I don't like using up land for X number of years that you might want, and I don't like on the roofs. Because I know our roofs
Yeah.
are just, and once you start
Yeah.
poking holes in it and
But
stuff. that
those
makes-
canopies, I
but the
mean, that's
canopy's different,
magic.
right.
I think we should go with the whole shebang, because otherwise, LED lighting,
Yeah.
there's no magic to that. And the water
You want to do it
conservation.
this meeting?
Well, so we don't have it on the agenda, but what I really wanted to know from you guys was which option you were comfortable with, so that I can tell her, so that when she comes back October, she can start working on the contract. We have to get the financing approved through the finance company, and then I just kind of, I wanted a verbal head nod of, yeah, we're
I like
okay.
Larry too.
Josh, how do you and Sarah
Me
feel
too.
about it? How
Too.
do you feel about it?
Not 1.5.
She's a numbers person. I love
Put another
Sarah
one in there
too.
behind that.
But she's the numbers person.
Huh?
You get 40?
If it does what it's supposed to do.
I don't know.
Can we pay for it until the savings start
What
coming
do you
in? We
think?
can't afford it.
Or what?
Can we afford it until our savings
We're
start
getting
generating?
contracts
Where,
and they appear to be sound.
I mean, that's a heck of a payment.
I know.
How does
And the person
they
that's in
guarantee
the-
you so much savings per year? Do we have, is that in us? We have that somewhere. Hold on, let me see if that's in here. No, that's just the,
And it's a 10-year warranty on those retrofit LED lights as well.
okay. They gave us a breakdown, Melvin, to answer your question. They tell you like year one, they guarantee the savings per year. So if they don't get you year one, what you're supposed to get, that's when they write the check to make up the difference. So what they're telling you you're going to save, you'll save, or they have to make a difference of. And it was broken down per year. It wasn't like an overall, they give you the overall, but it wasn't like, yeah, in 15 years it'll be. X.
She'll have that when she comes next time to look at
It
it.
says we don't have to pay until after the first year, and then Jeff said we don't have to pay until construction is complete.
Okay. So you're not paying anything until it's up and rolling. And then it should all.
So we wouldn't have to pay anything
Until everything,
until December of 2026? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess whenever their contract initiates that 12-month start date, that's what you'd be looking at. So,
Well, we've got to do something.
and that's the thing.
The
Whatever you decide, we
utilities
do
are-
have to do something, because utilities are out of control and there are a lot of different things. We took a step back when we first got this information. I was like, okay, what can we do on our own? Like, can we just do this?
Can we get his
We can't do it.
information tonight or? do we-
No, it's
Not
not
on
on
the
the agenda.
agenda.
Maybe you put on that extra.
Yeah, it'll be on October 20th. I just was gonna, if everybody's okay with it.
They're blowing me up. There will be construction savings. This is not guaranteed, but it is a little bit extra. And then, and it is up to Sarah how to set up those payments. Yeah, they can work with her on all of that.
Whether you want to start low, go high.
We
I
would
know that
go low, high, low to high.
High to low.
We would go high to low.
you don't have to pay for, one of the other questions I asked was, are we responsible for bringing in like a clerk of the works throughout this project? They provide 100% of all of that. They put it out for bid. We don't have to worry with that piece. So, I mean, you're already looking at all of those pieces that we're used to doing on our own when we do these projects. I mean, you guys have seen what we've dealt with for forever now at Moorfield Middle and the roof and HVAC, like they take it on and go. So, are there other questions that you want me to have her bring back when she's here on October 20th?
I just want to see, make sure we can afford it as we go. You know,
I can't tell you. I mean, as
Yeah,
long
that's
as,
a-
I mean, if there's no other.
It looks like a
15 years, you
big,
can't
it looks
do
like a big investment. It is a gamble. But it looks like in the long run, it may pay off. You hope it pays off.
I think there's
It is a
several
big
things that do
investment.
pay off. I'm hesitant about
When will the bond be paid off?
all of the,
28.
I mean, I think you look at some of them, like that one's a no-brainer, because if you're gonna do
Right.
if you're gonna do the canopy, you're saving 60,000 by doing that way anyway. But I tend to be more conservative.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, it's whatever you guys.
we're looking for you for guidance, so it's whatever you tell us.
That's
That's your job.
I mean, I don't know enough about solar. I don't know that in 5 years, there's not gonna be something that's better, or that solar doesn't even, you know what I mean? I don't know enough about.
Yeah,
I
I
don't feel
think,
comfortable in that piece to tell you whether you make a $3 million investment in solar. That's where I don't feel comfortable telling, given that,
I
but
think with
it's,
the annual price increase that I'm seeing in electricity, especially on the poultry farm, is just through the roof. And I don't see that stopping.
Mhm.
And so, and I'm not a big solar advocate,
Right.
I know, but if this can produce that much kilowatts, that's gonna be a huge savings.
Yeah.
I'm just so shocked that what you read about how many kilowatts that's producing at these different locations. And that's a lot of electricity being
It
produced.
is expensive.
It's not a very big solar field either, that's a,
I mean,
It's
that's
a
a
high
lot of
number.
electricity being produced, and I do know, like you said, Petersburg, they're making money. Much as I hate that thing, because it screwed our fare up parking,
well, they look terrible.
but
Yeah.
You know, where you can-
I know they're
I
making
agree
money
with
at
you,
Petersburg
those
on that.
ground
Right.
It's
ones.
not costing them a cent for any electricity. And I just,
and I think when they're guaranteed, because they're guaranteeing you that you're going to, they're guaranteeing you that you're gonna get the savings. My guess is that all of these companies are being conservative in their guarantee to you, because they wanna meet that. So while they're saying you're gonna save X amount of dollars, I'm sure it's not to the penny. The hope would be
there's no question there.
that there's cushion in all of the
She says
savings.
the savings are guaranteed back to Hardin County Board, and they can bring their solar expert to the next meeting if they choose.
Mr. Hines would like to see a solar panel. He wants to see what it's made of.
Yeah.
He wants to hold one in his hands.
Yeah,
So he
like
can,
a tile.
yeah, and know about how they work and, Okay, well, so we'll bring back a final recommendation to you then at the next meeting, and have it on the agenda and have them here to, the solar people can come and answer all of those questions, and then we'll go from there. Fair enough?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
A risk. I mean, it's one, I think we have to take it.
I think either, when you look at the bottom dollar as to what you're financing, you're gonna have to put a new unit in, HVAC wise at Moorfield Elementary School. And we already knew we weren't gonna get that as an SBA project this year. That was made pretty clear when we were talking about it. So you're already spending $33,000 on one of those, and there are 28 of them, I think. Yeah, so like you're already replacing one, and that's gonna keep coming out of pocket. Right. With no guaranteed anything or.
They'll fix all that stuff.
that unit is our number one project rolled into this, is that whole rooftop units at
Do
Morphet
that
Elementary.
first.
That's the first thing that's on the list, yeah. Yeah,
And
they're
s-
guaranteed all of it in 1 year,
So,
including that, but it's that, the solar.
So we're gonna have to go ahead and do the one unit though, you say?
Yeah, we had to order it the other day because we have like as an emergency order, because we have a group of kids that needs to go in
Yeah.
there and we can't wait any longer. We had
Yeah.
to do it. We've been fooling around with it for,
Yeah.
a while.
Well, you can only diddle so long, you know,
Right.
you gotta decide.
It's
you're gonna
time.
do it.
That's all I had. Not that it wasn't plenty.
Okay,
That's some South Branch stuff I pass out. Just a couple of points of interest about that is given it, Sheena, you can correct me on these numbers if I don't get them right. At the start of school, they started 2 weeks before we did. I think she said there was 87, 91 kids came the first 3 or 4 days. After that, the highest number they had was 51 the rest of the time. So it wasn't those 91 came. She was saying that there's 22 days difference in the calendar that our students won't be going up there because of they're out of school or we're out of school, not counting spatial days, field trips or any of that. So it's something to think about next year come calendar time. That's a lot of time for kids not being able to attend South Branch, I think.
well, that's a month.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. We need to, that would be nice to be able to have our own calendar. We're in, it's a tri-county cooperative and we need to, you
Yeah.
know, be a team player.
That's all I had, Dix. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything?
LSIC meeting, Morford Elementary, October the 8th, 2. If you didn't see that email.
Okay, announcements, October 20th. We're having our board meeting at Moorfield Middle School at 5 o'clock. And reminder, our budget retreat is November 20th, over at Warden Lake at 8:30 in the morning.
You have breakfast for us?
Yep, I'll have breakfast and lunch. How about that?
Good. Great. Sausage gravy?
Yeah, oh, I make a good sausage gravy.
Oh,
I gotcha.
Full of that.
I gotcha. Lots of heavy whipping cream and bacon grease and sausage. And yes, sir.
that's all sounding good. You'll have to
You're
let
hungry,
us know
Lynn.
what we can bring.
We gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay, moving on, mission statements and accomplishments.
Well, I said this before the meeting started, I just wanted you to know what a great success the collaboration between the CTE, Miss Snyder, and Mrs. Slack classes were providing food for the Heritage Weekend tea. I've heard nothing but compliments. The food was delicious. The girls who did the serving were professional and sharp and looked really good. The girls back in the kitchen who were working hard, keeping the trays filled as our guests arrived, did an amazing job. So all in all, I think we owe the CTE program a very big, big, big thank you and acknowledge the wonderful work they did. They made the tea successful. They really did.
Yeah.
And I'm already looking forward to next year.
Wonderful.
Anybody else have any kudos? Okay, next on the agenda is personnel.
Are there any questions that anyone has before I do this, or anybody that I need to do separately?
The only question I have is that email we received. Did we want to talk about that in executive session, or did you want to put it on the agenda for next time? Or
Oh, it's up to you guys.
did you all see the email that we received today, late afternoon?
I did.
I didn't, I did there. We probably
Sorry.
should discuss it.
Okay.
Let's go in executive session.
Motion to go to executive session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go in executive session for discussion of personnel issue. All those in favor?
Aye.
In executive session at 6:29.
Motion to go out of executive session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go out of executive session at 6:47 with no action taken.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
All right, I recommend the approval of the following service personnel hirings: Kelsey Roberts as an aide, special education MIS; Ashley Seitz, autism mentor aide, special education itinerant at MIS; and Brooklyn Colors, substitute aide countywide. I recommend the approval of the service personnel extracurricular hirings, for Brianna Ratchford as a yearbook coordinator at Moorfield Intermediate School. I recommend the approval of extra pay as a supervisory aide for Diana Lipscomb at East Hardy High School. I recommend the approval of the professional personnel hirings as follows: Kimberly Von Fonge, substitute teacher countywide; Kimberly Sherman, substitute teacher countywide; Brandy DeLauder, restricted short-term substitute countywide; Whitney Simon as a school nurse for Moorfield Elementary, Moorfield Intermediate, Moorfield Middle, and Moorfield High; Ashley Bailey, long-term substitute teacher for special ed at Moorfield Intermediate School; Hillary Evans is a long-term substitute for a leave of absence for third grade teacher at East Hardy Elementary School; Ashton Frame, long-term sub for a leave of absence for kindergarten at Moorfield Elementary School. I recommend the approval of the part-time temporary professional personnel: Tamara Kessner, EL interventionist, Moorfield Elementary, Moorfield Middle; Morgan C., parent liaison for Title I and Title III, countywide. I recommend the approval of professional personnel extracurricular hirings as follows: Alexandra Vetter, student council coordinator, Moorfield Intermediate School; Vivian Carr, 21st Century CCLC program teacher at Moorfield Elementary; Karen Markwood, 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Elementary; Crystal Kreitz, 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Elementary; Marie Rayo and Shanda Walker, co-applicants for the 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Elementary; Tracy Craig, 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Intermediate; Jessica Godlove, 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Intermediate School; Sarah Howard, 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Intermediate School; Laura Kessner and Tamara Kessner, co-applicants for the 21st Century CCLC program teacher at MIS; Robin Williams, substitute teacher for the 21st Century CCLC program teacher at Moorfield Elementary; Alicia Reynolds, substitute teacher for 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Elementary; Donnell Leininger, substitute teacher for the 21st Century CCLC program teacher, Moorfield Elementary; Rachel Roomer, substitute teacher for the 21st Century CCLC program teacher at Moorfield Elementary; Megan Ferris, 21st Century CCLC program teacher for Moorfield Middle, Moorfield Intermediate; Crystal Kreitz, EL school facilitator for Moorfield Elementary; Laura Kessner, EL school facilitator for MIS/MMS; Emily Newton, EL school facilitator for MHS; Shanda Walker, letters SOR facilitator countywide; Lauren Smith for the letters SOR facilitator countywide; Megan Mace, EL academic support instructor countywide. I recommend the approval of the 3-step salary increases for Kathy Ruddle, special ed East Hardy Elementary; Kelsey Benjamin, special ed East Hardy Elementary; Devin Orndorff, special ed East Hardy High School; Jessica Amtower, special ed East Hardy High School; Randall Wolf, math, East Hardy High School; Michelle Seitz, math, East Hardy High School. I recommend the approval of the reclassification of Lisa Thorne from a Cook 2 pay grade B to a Cook 3 pay grade C. I recommend the approval of athletic hiring for Ashley Bailey, authorized certified coach without pay for cheerleading at Moorfield Middle. I recommend the approval of the following volunteers: Eva Sign, volunteer at East Hardy Elementary School; Procopia Ikonamu, volunteer at East Hardy Elementary School; Christina Wetzel, volunteer at East Hardy Elementary School. I recommend the approval of the following resignation: Jeremiah Kreitz is a substitute teacher.
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for personnel.
We have a motion and a second to, for approval of the recommended personnel actions as presented by Dr. Van Meter. All those in favor?
Aye.
And they're approved 5-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn at 6:52. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? and we're adjourned.
Mr. Harp, if you didn't have